Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wrestleview Post-Raw number 145. I am Mike Tedesco.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Victoria
Hi,
is
everyone.
back, everybody.
Hello.
Still in the Christmas spirit in her Christmas attire here.
Our stockings are still up.
We're not taking them down yet. We're just not ready for Christmas to be over yet.
No.
Not in this house. Not the way the world is. We got to keep that Christmas spirit alive a little while longer. It's just
and we'll bring it back in July.
yeah, we do Christmas in July as well. As you know, we've talked about this before, and I think anybody who knows us, outside of this knows that we are big Christmas fans and put up a tree in July and decorate our house, and
it's fun stuff.
It's a good thing. I mean, you have all these decorations, might as well. I mean, Christmas is so short too.
Andrew's saying my volume needs to be up a little bit.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Hello,
okay,
hello.
so
hello. Can you hear me now?
Hopefully, we'll see.
Just let us know.
See, the problem is that a couple weeks ago, the last time Victoria did a show with us,
it's been like 3 weeks, I think.
I think it's been longer. I think it's been a month.
I think it's been like over a month.
It's been since before the new year, I think.
Yeah.
So we had we put all of our electronics in a bag at the end of this and just stow it away. But after the show, we were just like tired and didn't put it away. And the next day, all of a sudden I see Liliana reaching into the bag and she likes to turn all the knobs on the soundboard.
She doesn't think she's doing anything either. Like, to her defense, she really thinks like, oh, I could just play with this.
Yes, Liliana thinks that she's being helpful when she does things like that. So like she also does this thing now where we ask her to throw certain things away. So like, if we're done with something, we're like, oh, can you throw this away? We're trying to teach her how to like clean up and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So she gets all excited. She'll, if I give her especially when I go get the mail, if I get like junk mail, I'm just like, okay, take this and put this in the garbage. And she takes it and she crumples it up. She just started doing that on her own.
Yes.
But the problem with Liliana is like, she wants to be so helpful that she's trying to find ways to make herself helpful. So a couple of her toys have wound up in the garbage because she's just trying to get more of that affirmation, I think. And
we were really upset because she had this felt continence board. She knows all the continents now. And now we're like, where's your board? And she threw it in the garbage. We're convinced she threw it in the garbage because we're like, it's not anywhere. It's not on her toy chest. It's not underneath the piano. We're like, where could she put it? And we're like, she definitely threw it in the garbage.
Absolutely. Now, we want to say hello to everybody in the chat room. We got Quentin Walters here who says that he's been feeling under the weather and he's back and he's ready to go. So Quentin, we hope you're doing well here.
Yeah, same. I was, obviously, as Mike told you guys, I was sick for a while.
And Victoria is still feeling the effects of it. You can hear it in her voice still.
It's so annoying.
But she's on the road to recovery. Andrew Elder, the Wrestleview Fiend, is here. Actually, they should have. Did the Firefly house toys end up in the garbage?
Oddly enough, she was playing with those tonight in her room.
Oh, it's like so weird.
And I was like, oh, why are you doing
this?
The
McMahon puppet's still my favorite. That's still my favorite.
She likes it.
If it was up to me, more holidays would be replaced with Halloween except Christmas. Well, you do have Christmas and Halloween together, melded together in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
So
it's up for debate of whether it's a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie.
It's like that and Die Hard. Are they Christmas movies
movie?
Or what is it?
My opinion.
Michoon Walls is here. We say hello to Michoon.
Hello.
All right. So we have to talk about Raw tonight.
We do.
Which
it's the first Raw I watched in a while.
It's the first one she's watched in a while.
So I was a little shocked by some things. You had to keep me up to date on some stuff because I really genuinely have not watched in quite a bit.
Andrew,
yes, Andrew,
I agree with you.
It is.
I agree with you.
We watched it this year again, and
100%.
It is totally
Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Okay, so what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying how I really definitely had to look for your guidance tonight.
Oh, well.
I mean,
you should look for my guidance always.
Oh yeah. Okay. But particularly tonight, because I have not watched it in a while. So some stuff was a little bit of a shock to me. Some stuff I was like, oh, okay. Some of the name changes, I was like, really? They're doing that? Like, why is this happening? The only thing that I kept on, shockingly enough, the only thing I kept up on was obviously the Miz and Marie segments, which I'll talk about that a little bit later because I have some opinions on that in the past weeks and then tonight. But I was, yeah, I was a little bit, I was like, oh, okay, like, what is this going on? So you got to provide a lot of context for me because some stuff I really had no clue. It's amazing what happens in a month of when you don't watch.
What a happy time to be alive to not have to watch. Actually, you know what? You missed a lot of good Raws.
I did.
You missed a lot of good shows. And tonight was not one of them. It was not a bad show. I shouldn't say it was bad. And actually, there was something that happened tonight that was really, really surprising. Really, really surprising. And
I know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But yes, since the last time Victoria tuned into Raw, Seth Rollins has had an addition to his name.
Why are they doing this? Seth freaking Rollins? Really?
Like Jimmy Smith tonight at the beginning of the show called him Seth Rollins, and you just know that he got chewed out because the commentators, they can't call anybody just by their last name or anything like that. They have to call them by the full name every single time.
So
Seth
stupid.
freaking Rollins. Seth freaking. So that's all you're hearing. It's so annoying.
It's really annoying.
And I get it. He's a heel. Should be annoying. In fact, him and Kevin Owens had an extremely annoying segment tonight, but it was exactly what it was intended to be. So it was actually a perfect segment. But I just, it's so goofy and campy. But like, they should be given leeway. Like, yes, introduce him as Seth freaking Rollins, but you don't have to call him that every single time. It's like you just get beat over the head, inundated with their shtick, their WWE trademarking everything shtick.
Well, I take it as this. You know, when you're writing an article, and you especially, when you're writing an article about something, or even when you're doing when you're writing a history paper, English paper, you mention the person's full name, and then eventually you have to just like write their last name when you're referring to them using pronouns, like things like that. So it's really annoying when you're getting that constant like Seth freaking Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins. It's just annoying. At some point, when real commentators, real journalists, real people who like interview, they're not doing that all the time.
Right.
But WWE has their own rules. So yeah, no, they have to do it all the time.
Ugh.
Just so you like beat into your head. I'm like, really? This is happening right now?
Quentin thinks that that this just sets him up for an accident at some point.
100%. I almost just said it just now. I don't know if you guys caught up on it, but I almost just said the F word while I was saying, because it is. It's like it's off the tongue. You're like, hello.
I know, it's pretty wild. So yeah, that's the big thing that's happened. But also we have Brock Lesnar as the WWE champion. Brock has been awesome, and
love him.
He wasn't on the show tonight, but that's like the first show in a while that he wasn't on, and he's going to be back next week because next week is the go home show to the Royal Rumble.
I can't believe it. I can't believe we're at that point. Honestly,
it is incredible.
I actually, I don't know everybody else, but I'm actually looking forward to the Rumble this year.
I am too.
I am.
I don't know. I don't know why, but it's because actually they built up a really good show. Just like day one, I thought day one, like on paper, until Roman Reigns got COVID, was just like, wow, that's like one of the better cards that they built up in a while. Like marquee main events. They have marquee main events on this one. I mean, so tonight on the show, they did this video package, this career retrospective for Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, all melded into one. And it was so freaking good. And oh my God, it got me so pumped up for the Royal Rumble. I just cannot believe that. I mean, the Roman Reigns thing was real. It sucked. I hated that he got COVID. Thank God he's totally fine. Totally fine. He was back on SmackDown.
Yeah, it scared me.
You know, it's all good. We're all set with Roman Reigns. But it led to this weird thing where they had to change obviously they had to make a change at day one. They put Brock Lesnar in to what was supposed to be a fatal 4-way for the WWE title and made it a fatal 5-way, and he becomes the WWE champion because it's like, well, last minute replacement. Usually any last minute replacements always come out on top because we have to make nice. And now it's led to Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, which is a match that I think all of us have wanted to see for quite some time. Yeah. How many times were we talking about? How many times on this show have we talked about wanting to see Brock Lesnar versus BobbyLashley?
Yes. Many times. This has been like,
and
years now.
And I think we're gonna have Victoria on the Rumble post show too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have she'll be able to talk about Lashley and Lesnar.
Yes.
It's gonna be freaking awesome.
No, I mean, I don't know. And again, it's funny. I haven't watched the show, so you would think like, oh, why are you excited? Like you're really even watching, but I just am. I really, really am. I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Well, maybe why are you not allowed to be excited?
Well, maybe it's this, honestly. Well, because before I wasn't able to watch, I was watching, obviously, and I was enjoying the Raws and I was enjoying the show.
And the shows have been good for a while.
Yeah, and I felt like it was normal again where, yeah, I didn't like every show, but I did feel like the effort was there. So the shows were consistent enough where I felt like I'm like, okay, I'm excited for a show now. Like I'm excited for a pay-per-view that comes up. I'm excited for a Raw, just even a little bit more than I was. Maybe that's why. The amount of effort that's been put in has been way better than it has been in a very long time. So I'll take what I can get at this point.
Okay. Absolutely. All right, let's run down this show. Because I mean, there were some good things on the show, but just not quite enough. And there was a lot of filler and stupid things on the show too. Now, of course, we don't just talk about Raw on this show, actually, and it just, as I was getting ready to scroll through this first segment, something popped up on the side on Wrestleview that we definitely have to talk about, and also Andrew Elder making a good point, also that there's another big name in the wrestling world that's allegedly rumored to be working without a contract. So we'll start off with that one first. Okay. AEW, Vice President Cody Rhodes allegedly working without a contract, and that's getting everybody all excited about Royal Rumble. It's like, are you kidding? Everybody hates Cody. Now they're all excited about a potential Rumble thing. Are you kidding me? He's AEW. Really? Number one, he's AEW all the way. They're never going to let him go.
No, and didn't he essentially help start that company? So why?
Yes.
Wait, that's a thing? That's really a thing?
That's a thing. It's the stupidest thing on earth. It's like, this is just people trying to will a story into existence.
Like, that wouldn't even be, to be honest, that wouldn't even be exciting for me. Like, I would just think like that's stupid. And like I actually came about, I'd be like, why?
I don't know. But
I mean, to each its own, right?
Like if he's not on Wednesday's show,
if he's not on
AEW Dynamite this week,
okay,
then there's a there. But for now, just let it go. Like people are. It's just like people are just building themselves up for like this thing, and only to be like disappointed when it doesn't happen. It's just not going to happen. So, according to the report, Cody Rhodes' deal expired at the end of 2021. He's been working without a deal ever since. So he's supposed to return on Dynamite, which is his first appearance since being medically cleared to defend the title against Sammy Guevara at Battle of the Belts in January. And like if he's not on this Wednesday show, I mean, like that would be a sign that something is up.
Yeah, it'd be weird, but I don't know.
He's been wrestling without allegedly he's been working without a contract. I doubt that they're going to do anything where Cody Rhodes goes away. He's the heart, like to me, when I think of AEW, I think of Cody Rhodes, and he's like the heart and soul of that company. I
agree. I agree, and I think that look what he said.
What's that?
That was very nice.
What this?
No, the above one.
Oh, Taker rules? Yeah. People believing that Cody could be a Rumble participant must be the same people that believe that Mike and Victoria aren't. Well, this is Roy Nemmer, and Roy did a wonderful job last week on the post show.
He did, and thank you, Roy.
And Roy is the one responsible for making all these great graphics, like this one above my shoulder over here, and the thumbnail for the video tonight. So, if we're the greatest Raw post-show hosts of all time. Roy is the greatest assistant to making the show look as good as it does.
Just the greatest.
And also, Roy provides the
Roy's a great
StreamYard
host
here
himself, so he's got to give himself accolades here. He's a great host on the pay-per-views and for his show at SmackDown.
The SmackDown post show is back, and if you're not tuning in on Fridays to the SmackDown post show,
then you're a problem.
And you're an idiot. You're just dumb, stupid.
Thanks, Roy.
You gotta get with it. And as Quentin Walter says before, please subscribe, like, and share this video. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe to us. And you can follow all wrestling news on the Wrestleview website. We're talking some wrestling news right now and on social media, and join the conversation, please and thank you. We're talking wrestling news now with Cody Rhodes potentially working without a contract.
Can I just say something? All right, so if he's not on the show on Wednesday, that would just be really dumb on their part. They should do everything in their power to make sure that he is on the show on Wednesday, because then you're only drawing more attention to WWE. So why would you want to do that for, like, give more attention to another company?
Well, especially after WWE this week came out and said that AEW again is just, I forget the exact quote, but they were talking about how the women at the end of the year had a bloody match and how that they used to be like that and they're no longer doing that stuff, and AEW is just glorified violence and not becoming to the general society. So why would you want to give them any more buzz around their show?
Right, exactly. And that would just be foolish on their part. So I mean, again, I'm not an expert.
And look, there's no question about it that Tony Khan has brought some very negative publicity around himself because he can't control himself on Twitter, and he's got very thin skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they should have any more bad press, especially on something as stupid as this. So I think Cody's on the show on Wednesday. I think they tie him up in a contract real quick, and this is just people trying to get excited about a non-story. And then Andrew Elder says this. Then Vince talked about bloody and beating up Austin Theory and taking a selfie with his broken face and sending it to his mother and all this stuff. I was like, okay, well, I mean, he didn't do it, but
no.
Just threatening it is enough. Now, the other big story came out today, and this has been circulating for quite some time. Not too far from where they have public executions, WWE will be returning to Saudi Arabia with the Elimination Chamber in a very, very tone-deaf name for a show. The WWE Elimination Chamber. There was talk that they were going to rename it the WrestleMania Chamber because, I mean, Saudi Arabia hosts their very own Elimination Chamber right down the street from the building they're going to be performing in. But no, they kept the Elimination Chamber name because money. Your favorite, Victoria. Your favorite.
How dare they?
It's just crazy. I don't know. It's like, at this point, it's
our
like
last show was the Elimination Chamber.
Our what?
Our last show was like our last physical show that we went to.
I know.
How dare they?
I know. You're telling me. Believe me, I know.
Kidding?
I'm not. I am not kidding.
It's just because I'm here, right?
It is not a joke. It came out today.
Everyone just wants to push my buttons tonight. Is that why?
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
That was why.
Caught me. You caught me.
Come on.
I know.
There's no reason.
It's going to be from the Jeddah Superdome.
Oh, great. Fabulous.
On Saturday, February 19th. So you can watch the show, Victoria.
Great. I will be doing everything but that at that point. Thank you, Quentin. I will do the same thing as you. Because I'll eliminate my chamber by turning off the network. I agree.
So that's the other big news.
All right. Well, you should have even mentioned it because now you just pissed me off.
I know.
Or did you do that on purpose?
Of course I did on purpose. Of course. What do you think? I'm crazy.
See everyone.
That's just how I roll, man.
What's your problem? You keep looking at me.
I'm not looking at you. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm looking at you because we're doing a show together.
No, but like you were looking at like this. I thought there was a problem with this.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Make sure.
All good. All right. So let's talk about Raw now.
Can we, please?
Yes, please. Before Victoria goes off.
Before I just go off and be like, all right, bye. Well, my voice is bothering me still. See you later, everyone.
Pillarless. That's the tagline for the Jetta Superdome. It doesn't have any pillars. Wow. Cool. Exciting. Sounds like
Can't wait.
sounds like the roof could collapse if they try to attach the elimination chamber to it.
Would I really be surprised though?
No.
I think what's gonna happen there.
I'm just like waiting for like, I mean, I shouldn't even say it. It's just
don't.
It's just
If
something
you
horrible.
feel like
Something horrible is
if
eventually going to happen
if
at one of these
feel
shows.
like you shouldn't say it, then don't say it, right?
I just feel like
To
something
yourself.
horrible is going to happen at one of these
I've been
shows
saying
one
that for
day.
years, and may very well happen. So,
All right, we got
done.
Becky Lynch coming.
Bye.
We got Becky Lynch coming to the ring to start the show here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the Box Center, BOK Center. This opening segment it just went on forever. Becky Lynch comes out. She calls herself the Van Goat and all these different names that she's trying to give herself, puts over how she's the most dominant, which is the exact same promo we've been hearing for months with nothing new. Brett D. Farmer. Yeah, let's put our superstars on a several-hour flight, put them all to the chamber. That sounds like a great way to keep your wrestlers healthy. Yes, and their morale up for sure. And then, get back to the States and then fire a few of their friends. That'll really do it.
Why not? Brett, you're on the money here.
Brett's routinely on the money here.
Everyone in our shows on routinely on the money, so I'm not surprised.
Becky Lynch calls Dewdrop Doo-Doo because Dewdrop is the number one contender. And I thought, okay, we're doing that.
A good potty joke.
Yeah, no problem. I was like, that's like totally up Vince's alley. Like,
oh, he loves it.
Yeah, call her Doo-Doo.
He's so
I love
excited,
it.
I can tell you right now.
I love it. It's great. Good stuff.
He's like this in the back.
He's just loving it. He's like, this is good. It's good stuff, man. Dewdrop makes her way to the ring. And I got to say, the Dewdrop is like the one shining light
I like it.
coming out of this division right now.
Yep.
Bianca Bel-Air has been just awfully mishandled for
I feel so bad.
a while. And yeah, there was like a light EST chant tonight, but not much.
Light,
and you could
though.
tell
Very
early on that they were pumping in the crowd noise, which is like, that's the one thing that I was hoping would go away forever from the Thunderdome, the fake crowd noise. But whenever they get a tight shot on somebody and then all of a sudden you hear a lot of noise, it's like, that's everything against what Kevin Dunn has done for years. Whenever there's noise, they show the crowd, they show people having fun, because that translates to the home audience as well. It's like, oh, you get more excited when you see more people having fun. It's like, it's a
power of,
it's a cognitive thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you perceive things differently
like,
when you see people.
Fun.
Oh, this, like, you're thinking like, oh, this sucks, but then you're like, oh, you're watching people have a good time. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. But man, they were pumping a lot of fake crowd noise tonight for Bianca Belair. Liv Morgan especially got the treatment. God, she's horrible at promos, but Dewdrop is so fun right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she was dead, totally dead, with that Eva Marie thing. And by all rights, she should be. They did pull her out of the muck and the mire of the women's division and really made her into something. They made her into the monster. Yeah. Nia Jax is gone.
Yeah.
And they need a new monster woman, and they got Dewdrop.
She's she's definitely a good fit for it.
And she's just awesome. I love that they gave her the bonsai drop. I think they're calling it the airdrop or something like that.
I don't know. I can't remember.
WWE's Twitter called it the airdrop, okay. But I don't know. I think they should just call it the Dewdrop.
Why not?
Dewdrop does the Dewdrop.
Yeah.
But she's just great. She moves well.
She's good coming out of it.
I knew when she got up for the KOD that she was just awesome. Mm-hmm. Like willing to take bumps. Like Nia Jax never left her feet, never took bumps, uncoordinated in the ring. But Piper Niven is really just a great
she's
female
a
athlete
to have, and yeah, she is a good athlete. She really is. Being that I haven't watched in a while, I was a little curious to see how, and there were certain things I asked for. I told you guys this before. There were certain things I asked Mike about with his context. I'm like, I want you to kind of give me a little background and let me know what's going on. But then there was other things I was kind of like, oh, just let me watch. And this was one of them. I wanted to see if there was any progression with Liv Morgan and everything. And I wanted to see if, Bel-Air was able to maintain or like kind of get back that what she had, right? But the surprise out of it was Dewdrop, like with this whole thing, which was exciting to me. That was kind of, I had other sort of people in mind that I was looking out for in this, but she stood out, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. So although some things were, like you said, dull, right?
Oh yeah.
Other things with her, I was like, oh, this is a nice sort of change. And I was happy about it. I'm like, okay.
I was pretty thrilled. I'm pretty amped up. I don't think that she's going to win the women's title at Royal Rumble, but I hope that this is the beginning of, a rise to prominence for Piper Niven.
I got really sad though for Liv Morgan because I was really
she's horrible at promos.
Well, here's the thing. A month ago, I was saying.
Oh, the Bianca Belair tripped on her words tonight too.
She did, but she could do that once in a while. Not like.
And she's really good.
Exactly, but I was just sad for her, and the reason why, because I was really rooting for her a month ago when I was like watching the show. And I was
when they were in Memphis at the beginning of December.
Well, I said, I was like, give her time. Maybe she'll grow into it. Maybe if you just give her that opportunity. I have no problem, I said, with people just getting their time and people working into and figuring things out on air. Sometimes it just has to happen in order for you to get better. But when I saw that tonight, I'm like, it's just it's not clicking. Promos are not our thing.
No,
they're really not. So I'm like, we have to kind of do another reset for that with her. And it's just not going to happen at this point. If you haven't even made like this much of progress with it, maybe you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
consistently, right?
I agree 100%. It's like, like that's the difference between like AEW and WWE. Now I'm not, it's like one show has a bunch of people that are really good, and instead of featuring all of the good aspect, all the things that they do really well, not they have really good people. A lot of them aren't completely polished or they have weak points. Instead of just accentuating all of the positives, they go out of their way, it seems, to accentuate the weaknesses and expose their weaknesses constantly.
Yeah.
And AEW, on the other hand, has a whole bunch of people that are really good. Again, not all of them are polished, finished products, but they're all working toward, the same vision of getting better and, bettering themselves and bettering their careers and advancing their careers, of course. And instead of, okay, you're not good at this, so we're going to make you do this a million times until you're good at it, they let them do, like they accentuate their positives, and that's all they do, and it shows.
Yeah, and that's where I get so torn, because I do feel like I have the mentality of like, give it a shot, give it a chance, see if it does work. But if I also am a realist where like, if it's really not working, like don't put them in that position to be subjected to then that ridicule.
Right.
Because now at this point, like she really has not made any progress with it. So just do something else with her. Let's, like you said, don't be continuing on with it over and over again in hopes it's going to happen. It's clearly just, it's not her thing.
Absolutely. Well, Andrew L, that's because you're the Wrestleview Fiend. That's why you're more over than Liv. You are the Wrestleview Fiend, sir. So there's that. Okay. This all leads to a tag match. Mm-hmm. Becky Lynch and Dewdrop taking on Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. I thought that this was gonna. I thought when they came out with Becky Lynch and they did the whole your turn, my turn thing, which I can't stand. I'm just so tired of that. That's the same. It's the same presentation.
Yeah.
For years and years and years,
mm-hmm.
and never deviate from that presentation. Like no one's had a better idea of how to present promos in years, other than just like, okay, I'm going to say a big thing, then I'm going to wait my turn for you to say your big thing. It's like, it just takes me right. It takes me right out of it every single time. That's not how people talk.
That's not how they speak. Exactly. That's not how you talk.
Can't take it. I think there are people inside of WWE who are threatened by the concept of unselected women possibly having more drawing power than their male roster. Possibly, Brett. I don't think they have that issue with Liv, but she could be good. She could be something really good. But really, when she started cutting promos, and of course when they beat her a bunch of times too, it just eliminated all of her potential drawing power. Anyway, so I thought when they sent them all out there that this was going to be like a half hour, 45 minutes of these women out there, because I was like, this tag match is obviously going to get some time. I was wrong. It went one segment, and it was all contained in one commercial break. And Becky Lynch and Dewdrop made quick work of them. Again, Bianca Belair was just there, and that was just knocked out. They are doing whatever they can to get her on TV, but not have her do too much because they're not currently pushing her. So Liv Morgan was the one, just to make it clear that Liv Morgan is not being pushed at a high level anymore. They beat her pretty handily. Dewdrop crushes her. There was a little miscommunication at the end. I like sometimes like the refs like, oh, we have to call everything like a shoot now. Like when it affects the ending, and it seems like it always affects the ending, and it seems to always happen with the women as well.
Of course.
It's like somebody makes an aggressive pin and their shoulders a little off the mat. He's like, I can't count it. It's like, and it just ruins the whole,
it's like so dramatic.
The whole thing. It's just like, just count the goddamn pin.
Right.
Okay. Right. Like, please just count the pin. Now, if it's like WrestleMania 35 where Ronda Rousey's shoulder was completely off the mat, like maybe tell her just like roll her over a little more.
Right,
come on.
Exactly.
That kind of hurt, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. But like again, like, oh, you didn't tag in the right way, so Dewdrop had to go back and get on the apron and tag her. Like, come on, really? Just get through the segment.
Don't be so dramatic.
Come on, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But anyway, after the match, Dewdrop crushes Becky Lynch with a pretty good looking bonsai drop. I love that move. Love it. So Dewdrop is tops in my book.
Yes, she really is. I don't really have much to add other than I agree with you. I would like to see more time dedicated to it. Andrew said, I think it was Andrew who said it before. Yeah, Andrew said it before. The promo got more time than the actual match, which it should have been the opposite. Less time with the promo.
Well, if you have nothing to say, then do less promo and do more action.
Exactly. Or don't do a promo at all. Let them just have a match.
I don't know if they can get away with not having a promo at all, but just have Becky Lynch cut the promo and then Dewdrop, and then just send Bianca and Liv out there, and like do like an inset thing with Liv and Bianca saying they're going to win the Royal Rumble, because that's really all they did.
Right. It took a long time to get to that point.
Yeah, it was like, oh, it sucked. Brett Farmer also makes this point. Might be a hot take, but the way they squash anything that naturally happens makes it seem that way to me. That they're threatened by the concept of women drawing, unless it's so big they can't stop it, like Charlotte and Becky. I think they want. I think they want to have some female stars that are, top of the line, just so they can say that they have them. But they are very cautious to not have any more than they've already determined that they need.
Yeah,
which is Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks. And thoughts, thoughts and good positive energy sent to Sasha Banks. Her father passed away over the weekend.
So terrible. I feel so bad.
But those three have been deigned for stardom, and no one really has ever really edged into that. Maybe Asuka and Alexa Bliss have come close, but they're not the ones that wind up on the posters.
Yeah, I half agree, because I feel like that they definitely want to have somebody, especially even when Ronda was around. I was like, oh, main event status,
they needed somebody. They needed good people. And over power. People to beat Ronda.
Yes.
And then they also needed to have people to like build somebody up that could beat Ronda, so Ronda could go away.
Mm-hmm. So I definitely agree with the idea of maybe not everybody. And I do agree with Brett only because a little bit also because just of the way that they've just relate to the party of women in general. So I don't know if necessarily they're threatened by it, other than the fact that they just like Vince just doesn't want it. You know what I mean? I think it's just like not on his radar to showcase females that way. You know what I mean? I think it's other people kind of pushing for that. And as long as it benefits Vince, like Ronda Rousey was a big moneymaker and a big name, mainstream name. So that benefited him. If he doesn't feel like that they're going to benefit him in any way, like Charlotte Flair obviously has her name, Becky Lynch has mainstreamed herself, and Sasha Banks has mainstreamed herself as well. So those women bring forth something to the table because of their name involved. But yes, I do agree with that part where he's not going to necessarily, I don't think it's a threatening component. I just think he doesn't think about it. He doesn't care enough to think about it.
Right. So Brett says they don't want it to be the women the fans get behind, but they don't approve. It has to be their women that they have groomed. Well, that's true for all of their male stars too. That's just
yeah, that's just a general.
They invest money into people, and that's who they want to present. So that's true for both sides of the roster there.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, quick and easy stuff. I wanted that tag match to go a little longer.
Me too. Longer than the promo for sure.
But I really like that. I like this Dewdrop push.
Yes, me
right
too.
now.
I like her a lot.
So our second segment of the evening has Kevin Owens having Seth Freakin Rollins, on the Kevin Owens show. Not much to this. They just are super annoying, and which is exactly what it's designed to be. They're heels, and they were just drawing heat. That's all they were doing.
Yeah.
They send Damian Priest out there, who, again, this Daniel Shell might not want to hear this, but diminishing returns on Damian Priest. I mean, he got like really no reaction going out there, and it's like, do they have to every single time a face interrupts the heels? Because they did it twice tonight. And you know, not the same verbiage, but almost like, but the same concept, where Damian Priest comes out. I don't know, pretty much same verbiage. Damian Priest comes out and goes, "Will you please shut up?" And then Beth Phoenix later on to Maurice, "Will you please shut up?" It's like they do that all the time. How many times have you seen, like, I'm trying to think who did it? Oh, like Ricochet's done it before. Like, "Will you please shut up?" Everybody, Liv Morgan. Oh, that was a big one. Remember when she was cutting bad promo to bad promo, like when she was actually feuding with Becky Lynch? And she's like, "Oh my God, Becky, will you please shut up?" It's like, that's all they do.
They don't have friends, and they only can say, can you please shut up?
And if they really want to get edgy, then they have them call them a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
No, Andrew, don't even start, please.
Come on, Victoria, give it to them. They've waited a month for this.
Okay. Why not me? We've been talking about Ricochet a lot.
Horrible. Oh, speaking of, like, you know, a Ricochet type player, Mustafa Ali publicly requesting his release from WWE. I don't think that Mustafa Ali is a world champion in any company that he goes to, but I guess he'll have more freedom to do what he wants in another company.
Wind up in AEW or something.
Yeah. And then he'll just wind up exactly where he's at in WWE.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the only place that Mustafa Ali becomes a world champion is like in some tiny independent promotion. It's like, oh, bring Mustafa Ali in there and give him the title. It's like, come on, bro. Like, just collect your paycheck. For God's sake. Just for God's sake. Just do it. Anyway, this leads to Kevin Owens taking on Damian Priest in a non-title match. I thought this match was really, really good. I thought it was very good. The Kevin Owens was great in this, trying to you know, beg Damian Priest off and say, like, you know, because just don't bring the Damian side out. You know, we're just having a good clean match. And then at the end of it, Owens, you know, I mean, they pulled out all the stops. Owens did the Swanton Bomb. He did a frog splash off the apron. It looked great and always looks brutal. But at the end, you know, he pretends to hurt his hamstring and, you know, starts to fake the injury, and the referee calls the trainer over. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens surprises Damian Priest with a stunner for the victory. Damian Priest pinned in a singles match for the first time on the main roster. He has not been pinned on the main roster since he's come up. And in fact, I don't think he's been pinned at all, you know, other than like on NXT, just to get, you know, as he was going out, you know, in over a year.
Yeah. It was a big moment. It really was.
So that was shocking.
That was shocking.
That was really
And that
shocking.
was
The
a- that
last
was
time he was pinned at all
Mhm.
was with the Miz in his underwear.
Yeah.
When it
Yeah.
was John Morrison and the Miz versus Damian Priest the night after WrestleMania, which I thought was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Which is one of like 4 victories the Miz got in 2021.
Mhm.
Just so you know.
Okay, great.
Miz had his pants around his ankles.
We're not talking about the Miz right now, so
Okay. That's the last time he was pinned.
show yourself out. Yeah, that was very shocking. And well, from what you told me, right? Because
that's what I said.
You were like, all right. I remember Mike was actually eating his dinner and he goes, whoa, okay. But
like,
yeah,
wow.
good match. Again, really don't have anything.
I was like, are they gonna make him kick out of the stunner? Really?
Again, I don't have anything else to add other than the fact that I like that they took a chance and they were like, yeah, let's just pin him tonight.
That was the biggest thing I thought coming out of the show is that Damian Priest got pinned.
It was.
I thought that was shocking.
Things like that need to happen, obviously. Things like that need to occur for that shock value and that wow factor. Because it only makes it gives it more, because the match was good. It only adds more to it. It kind of would have been a letdown if something stupid happened at the end where you're like, oh, come on, really? Like, they had this good match, and again, finishers are not always the best lately. At
least got Quentin to his feet. Got Quentin to his feet. That's what we want. We want Quentin.
No, I'm telling you, Mike was having his dinner. And he's like, "Whoa, okay."
Oh, I mean, yeah. I'll give them props where props are due.
You gotta give exactly. You gotta give props where props are due.
So Kevin Owens, good stuff. We have the Alpha Academy graduation ceremony, which was. There were some funny moments in this with Otis and the graduation gown.
I was so lost.
It was just something. At the end, Randy Orton comes out, gives Chad Gable an RKO. Riddle gets the best of Otis. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some kind of academic challenge next week on Raw.
That I'm a little curious about. I'm not going to
lie. So
what kind of academic challenge?
There's no in between here. It's either going to be a really funny segment or it's going to be one of the worst segments that WWE produces in 2022.
Yeah, in 2022? And we're only at the beginning of the year, so it has potential.
So January 24th could contain the very worst segment that WWE produces in 2022. Or it could be one of the funniest that they do in 2022. I don't think there's any in between. I don't think it's just going to be okay.
No,
it's either going to be crash and burn horrid.
It's either one or the other.
It's either going to be crash and burn horrible.
I am praying we are on the latter end of really, really funny and really, really good.
I hope so. Especially at the Rumble Go Home show.
Please.
They don't have a lot of great stuff planned for the Rumble Go Home show. They have Maurice and Miz throwing a birthday party for Maurice. And
question. We're teachers. What do you think is going to be part of this academic challenge?
I don't know.
I hope it's like, why am I blanking out?
I don't know.
That Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, that's what Riddle said. Is this gonna be like Billy Madison?
Wait, he said that?
Yeah, he did.
I don't remember that.
Because you don't remember it, obviously.
I obviously don't remember it.
But he's like, is it gonna be like Billy Madison? You know, like this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. At no point did you perform any coherent sentences. We're all dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul. So probably like that. And hopefully if it really sucks, it just ends with Steve Buscemi coming out and shooting somebody in the ass. Hopefully that's how it ends. And then he goes, and then Steve Buscemi goes home and puts lipstick on.
Okay, everybody's homework this week is to watch Billy Madison.
Glad I called that guy. I just want a bus driver.
That is correct.
I just want a bus driver like Chris Farley. I think that'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Another ultra weird segment with Vince McMahon and Austin Theory. But man, Austin Theory's got the golden ticket having Vince McMahon in his segments constantly for now, at least, until Vince decides he doesn't like him anymore. But Vince threatened to beat him to death, essentially, if he loses to Finn Balor tonight. We haven't seen Finn Balor since 2021. So he's back. And Austin Theory does indeed beat him. This was a pretty good match. Not bad at all, but another example of Finn Balor. Not much going on with that dude.
No.
Since coming back.
Well,
He's, if anybody's going to probably wind up requesting a release, it's going to be him pretty soon. I'm
You
sure
think
of it.
so?
I think, it's
Yeah.
like he went from being the man on NXT to just coming back
this,
and
yeah.
this. He's
No,
getting,
you're right.
as
But
Machine says, he's
wouldn't-
getting
it wouldn't really
the
surprise me.
treatment.
Before we actually continue, they had a really nice video honoring Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, they did. I was going to mention that.
They really did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was very nice.
Yeah, I know it was really nice. I know it was really nice.
It was really
completely juxtaposed by the news that came out earlier today that they're going to friggin' Saudi Arabia to have the Elimination Chamber.
Okay, but I'm gonna appreciate a good, tribute to Martin Luther King.
Right.
Jr.
Well, no, it was a great segment. It was a great, beautiful video package, and they kill it every year. And
they do.
I know that Vince McMahon, that like Martin Luther King, the "I Have a Dream" speech was in the formative years of his life. I think he was. I think Vince was 15 years old.
Okay.
When the "I Have a Dream" speech happened.
Yeah.
I think he's born 1945.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would put him probably about 18 years old. 18 years old when "I Have a Dream" happened, and I think it really was a big influence on him. And but money is a bigger influence. It just is what it is. Just is what it is. So, but they always make a point every year to do a really nice video package for Martin Luther King. This is not beautiful. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash.
Oh my god.
This just sucked.
The
Queen Zelina Carmella promo just never ended. It was horrible. And then the attack. It's just like for every week that this goes on, for every week they drag this out, it's just one more week tacked on to, the Rhea Ripley rehabilitation that they're eventually going to have to do. Or maybe they don't do it and they just get rid of Rhea Ripley, but they have ruined her. And they have a lot of work to do to get her back to being anything remotely resembling good. But this Nikki Ash thing has ruined her.
So last week, like I said, I haven't watched in a few weeks, but I remember last week when Nikki Ash went and turned on her. Oh, thank you. When she turned on her, and I'm just saying to myself, that wasn't very, because Mike's been telling me overall the shows have been pretty good and whatever. I was like, oh, okay, that's great, thank you, whatnot. He's telling me and everything. What?
Not yet.
On here?
Yeah.
The computer?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Later, after you're done talking.
All right. Sorry, Mike just told me something. This is the one thing I caught. I go, are you sure? Raw has been fine. Are you sure Raw has been good? Because what I'm seeing right now with Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley does not seem to be good. So either you're lying to me, just to try to make me feel bad and try to get me to get back to the show, even though I was very sick, or this is just a really bad part that I happened to catch up on when I happened to be watching while this was going on. This sucks. This there's no other way to say it than other than the fact that this is horrible right now. This benefits nobody. Does it benefit Rhea Ripley? And doesn't benefit Nikki Ash at all. It needs to end now. It needed to end weeks ago. Months ago.
It is really bad. It is really, really bad. They're just.
So turn it off?
Yeah, go ahead.
On my computer.
You know how to do it?
I know how to do it. So you're telling me to turn it off?
Yes. Yes, indeed. It's never going to be good. So, although I got to say, Nikki Ash is certainly trying her darndest to be as good as she possibly can with it. Are you okay?
I'm off.
Okay, you're good then.
But nobody can hear me.
They can hear. Of course, they can hear you because you're attached to this microphone. It's coming through mine.
But I don't know what's going on. I can't see anything. Nothing's popping up on my screen.
Okay, then that's fine. It must be working then. But refresh your page and then come back into the room. How about that? Does that make sense?
Exit the room?
Just refresh the page. Oh my God. Do I have to troubleshoot everything on the air? Can you just figure it out?
It's saying I can't even get back on the page.
Give it a second. Did you do this right or not?
I turned it off like you told me to. I don't know why I had to do it in the first place. That's what's bothering me.
Because you keep lagging. I have an Ethernet plugged in for you that is not being used.
But I'm not on anymore. Like I can't even see myself at all.
Because you're out of the room right now. Ay. You have to troubleshoot everything on the air here. That's amazing. Anyway, so the Nikki Ash thing, brutal. What?
I'm not in the thing.
Oh my God. Do I have to get up and now we have to have a blank screen so I can help you with this?
But I'm trying to figure out what's going on right now.
Oh my God. All right. Well, you have to talk then. And we're going to do like a silent radio show for a moment.
Because it says no internet.
I'm aware. Give it a sec.
I've been giving it a second.
Are you ready?
No, because I can't get back
Unplug
into
the
the
stupid
room.
thing and plug it back.
Unplug what stupid thing?
The Ethernet. For God's sake.
I'd rather be laggy than not be on the air.
You're on the air. You're here. You're being able to be heard. God's sake. This is crazy. Anyway. So, we wind up with just the Nikki Ash thing is just brutal. So is Dana Brooke as the 24/7 champion, Victoria. They had this segment earlier in the night with Edge and Beth Phoenix that there was a couple moments that were just like almost the entire thing was terrible. I think they were trying to use Edge and Beth Phoenix's star power to try to rub off on some people. So they started off with Reggie and Dana Brooke backstage with them, and Reggie's asking for some advice on facing Omos. And Edge said, "You're totally gonna lose, man. But keep doing what you're doing." And then Beth Phoenix tried to put Dana Brooke over, like, "Oh, I'm really proud that you're wearing that title because you've worked so hard for so long." And Dana Brooke can't even say thank you without ruining her lines. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that?
I hear everything.
I'm asking from the show.
Yes, I heard.
You're still able to be heard. Are you on or no?
It says I'm backstage.
Oh, well then come in the show.
I'm in the show.
Okay. God almighty. There you are. Miserable.
Because you're annoying. That's so annoying. Like, oh, do this. It's like in the middle and then it's not working.
Well,
and now our daughter's up, so
it's fine. Just leave her be, for God's sake. Anyway, she can't even say thank you without sounding like a totally scripted bot. Like, thank you so much, Beth. This is so nice of you. She's horrible. I can't imagine being in that company for as long as she has and never getting good at any singular thing in professional wrestling.
Nope.
Nothing. When she was, I think the best thing she ever did was the statistician for, oh my God, Titus Worldwide.
Yeah.
That was it. That was like the last time she was good, I think. Oh, I got to switch the cameras again here. Whoops. There we go. There we go. Cheer up. Come on.
I'm fine. I'm just trying to get my spot back on. That's all.
All right. You're what?
I'm just trying to get everything back where I had it because everything went off completely.
Omos did get killed by, or Omos did kill Reggie throughout this, and it was just a miserable segment. This was not a miserable segment, and it involves.
I want to touch on this though.
Touch on what?
Before we get into the segment.
Okay.
Before with Beth Phoenix and Maurice and everything. You want to talk about? You want to?
Andrew, you're welcome. That's got to be Vince right through the headphones. What I just did to Victoria.
It is, and it's annoying.
Like you can't follow simple directions.
I would never be able to work for Vince. Like I would literally scream at him.
Follow simple directions.
I'd be fired like in 2 seconds. No, before you actually go into the full like Maurice, Beth Phoenix, Edge thing.
Okay.
I just want to talk about because that's the only thing that I've really been following up on. Is Miz's segments with Maurice. How are you not listening right now?
You just said before we touch on that, so I thought you wanted to talk about Omos and Reggie.
No, I don't talk about Omos and Reggie because I've not been following up on that.
I'm not able to follow your logic here.
You should know what I'm talking about.
All right, go.
So I was a little back and forth over the past few weeks between. It's not that I hated anything that really went down with Edge and Miz and everything else, but I was not really enjoying what was going on with the Miz and Maurice. Like, I thought their acting was good. I thought that they, you know, Maurice being like, "Oh, I don't want to fight her. I don't want to do this." Like, saying, "Oh, my mother, you can't keep doing this to me," and blah 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 blah. Like, I thought that was fine, and I thought that was okay, but I didn't really like that. Oh, she was abandoning the Miz. Like, they just kind of like the cowardly. And I know it's part of their character, like that cowardly heel type thing, which was fine with me. But I was a little. I wasn't really like enjoying these segments like I thought I should be. Tonight, I thought made up for it.
Okay.
Tonight, kind of like any other thing that happened in the past week of, and you'll explain it in detail, like what actually happened, because you're just better at that. Obviously, you recap the show, but tonight kind of brought that glue together for me of almost why they were doing what they were doing in the past few weeks, if that makes sense.
It does.
Actually, because yes, I was genuinely kind of not really enjoying it. Like, I thought, like, oh my, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this back and forth of like, okay, fine. It was fine. Maurice like left him the first time, slapped the Miz, like, cool, whatever, like, fine. But then this whole, like, she's kept walking off stage, like she wasn't really supporting. I'm like, that's not her. Like, that's not really like her character to be like, oh, I'm not gonna support my husband, blah, 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 and like pretending whatever. But tonight was it finally.
That's your character.
Screw you, okay? Screw you. You're annoying. That's just what you are. That's like, that's his real life right here. It's not acting. Mike's annoying. But I genuinely was just not that crazy about it. I did not see like the purpose to it. But tonight solidified it for me and brought me back where I'm interested and where, like, this is where it should be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Because
they're in the middle of telling a story. And yes, sometimes we jump the gun and say that, like, this is just no good, because they might have something to do with, like they might have one good germ of an idea for a story, and you cannot. We've been conditioned to not put too much time and effort into the story, because they'll just screw it up next week when they decide, oh, everybody sees the direction that we're going, so we got to just turn it into this weird swerve that no one would see coming, but it also doesn't fit the story at all completely. Now the story's totally broken. So yes, when they're walking off, it's like, oh, is there a point to this? Is this going to go somewhere? Because frequently things don't go anywhere, and it's just like, why did that happen?
Right,
that's
sucked. What I was thinking. I'm like, this is kind of.
But annoying. They're telling a classic old school story with this, where it's like they tease dissension. They're trying to just play mind games, and they came out on top tonight. I loved the fact that, well, of course, Maurice came out, was trying to get Beth to call off the tag match and say, oh, the women have advanced so much because of the work that we've done. And, like all this stuff about how they main evented WrestleMania because Maurice was having matches. It's like, that's totally absurd, but totally completely absurd. But Maurice, what I gotta say,
that's why you've been blocked on Instagram, by the way.
I know. I'll never be unblocked by Maurice, whatever. I don't care. But like Maurice, when she was active, like actually active full time, I thought she was actually pretty damn decent.
She's an athlete.
Like she's
an actual athlete.
Well, you could be an athlete and suck at wrestling, but she was good at wrestling.
She was. I thought so.
And it was like her and Michelle McCool were the ones that I always kind of looked forward to when I initially started recapping for Wrestleview all the way back in 2008.
Yes.
And I remember when she won the women's title from, I believe, Michelle McCool, and she was super psyched. Like I remember I was excited for her. There was like real emotion there. That was like one of the first title changes I think I ever recapped. And it was on SmackDown. It was like right in December. It was really, really a good match. And but still, I don't think that the work that her and Beth Phoenix did led to Becky Lynch in the main event of WrestleMania. I think that had a lot to do with Ronda Rousey. But anyway, the women's revolution, but there were people that laid groundwork that never got their just due, and Maurice would certainly be one of them. I think Beth Phoenix would be one of them too, but they were put in big situations every now and then. Like I do remember WrestleMania 28, where Beth Phoenix was the one chosen to go against Maria Menounos.
Yeah.
When they did that thing. And somebody's foundation got on Maria Menounos' butt, and it looked really bad. But I do remember that clearly. I was there live. Anyway, Edge and Beth Phoenix don't buy it. And Beth Phoenix says she's going to glam slam her ass through the canvas and gets in the ring to give Tulsa a preview. The Miz attacks Edge, and then Maurice hits Beth Phoenix in the back of the neck with her purse, and she goes down like a ton of bricks because there was a brick in that purse. The classic wrestling angle with a loaded foreign object, and they made a point to open up the purse and pull out the brick, and I was just like, wow, this is a classic angle.
Yes.
This is probably by far my favorite thing on the show tonight. It was, and it didn't go too long. It didn't get dragged out. Maurice was awesome in this. Awesome. She was the best one out there by far. She carried this whole entire thing. And you have to remember that Maurice is not, that English is not her first language. And she just knows how to get heat. Everything she did, she was so composed out there, and she really had these people pissed. And then she stood out there and I have a microphone and I can be louder than you. And she didn't, which is a lot of what Miz does, but she was just so great at delivering that stuff. And then she, and then when they were really booing her, she just was like, "I'll wait. Doesn't matter." It's just really, really just and nothing they did, rocked her. It was really good. She was awesome.
That's why I like the two of them together. They do actually mesh well as a couple because their personalities are very similar, where they know how to get heat, they know how to get attention, and they know how to work a crowd. And Maurice, it is very impressive because Maurice, her second language is English. I mean, she even says that her mother has been living with them. But she said when her mother was in Canada and she would visit LA for here and there when they were living there, just them, she said she would almost forget how to speak English.
Right.
Because she would be talking to her mother frequently, and her sister and her rest of her family don't speak English at all. So whenever those family comes over, she's constantly speaking French. So for her to be able to draw the crowd like that and get her point across and to be able to speak the language enough and very well. I mean, I even said to you a couple weeks ago, I'm like, that was very American of her to say that. She's definitely has Americanized some of her words.
Oh yeah.
But she knows how to play up the French where it needs to, and use it to her advantage.
Yeah.
So
she's like the last of the.
They must have a lot of fun working together.
Oh yeah,
they must have a ton. They work, because some couples they can't work together. They just can't. They get annoyed with each other.
Well, Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
Are no chemistry.
No, not at all.
Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, no chemistry.
None. Miz and Maurice,
tons. They're like the last of the gimmicky couple. They're like the last of the gimmicky couples, really.
Off the charts. Their chemistry is off the charts.
Right.
They because they have similar personalities. They know how to. You can't seriously look at someone like Maurice, and she is a nice person. I'm not saying she's not, but you don't look at her and go, "Oh, that's a nice person." She knows how to give that attitude, that that diva tube.
She dresses like she has attitude.
Yeah, my shit don't stink, Yep. So
she was great. She was really great,
and she ran that.
She
ran that. She
and you could tell at the end when she went to do the hair flip, she was super pumped because I'm sure sometimes I know when I'm doing something and when it's going really well, you just know you feel it and you get extra pumped up. And she was pumped at the end of that segment
because
she knew that
ran it. Because Miz is a talker. You always look at the Miz and you're like, Miz is a talker. Miz usually,
but she's the one who carried it. So.
She. That was all her.
Yep, absolutely.
That was all her.
Absolutely. After all that, you still lagged anyway. Oh well, like you do. So, really good stuff. Good stuff. Fun segment, and we have an 8-man tag match because we just need some filler. But this was actually good filler. It was just a good match with the Street Profits and the Mysterios taking on the Dirty Dogs and Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz.
I like this a lot.
I cannot believe Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz are still an act. I just cannot believe it. It's just so miserable. But
this was good though. I know you said it was decent, but I actually enjoyed it. It was just like a fun little in between.
Oh yeah, you probably would have enjoyed your time more in putting Liliana to sleep, I'm sure. But it was a good segment. It was decent. It was decent.
You are just up.
And
last nerve tonight.
I mean, good, good wrestling. I still don't get the Commander Aziz thing. He's just like another Omos to me. It's like they've been trying with Babatunde for quite some time. What was the other name that they had for him when he was in Raw Underground?
You really think I remember?
I can't remember.
Ask our lovely Wrestleview crew. They'll probably remember.
I don't want to I don't want to look it up. I want to have the joy of remembering
the aha
it.
moment.
The
aha. Don't ask me because I really don't remember.
They had him face like Braun Strowman, and then he got squashed, and that was the last you ever saw of him. But it was
I really don't.
Well, Babatunde was his original name, and he was Shun Walls gave it to me. Dabakato.
No, I'm glad he did.
It was right on the tip of my tongue. I was like,
it was not on the tip of your tongue, Mashun. You definitely helped him out. It was not on the tip of his tongue.
I was thinking it was like something. I thought it was like I thought it started with an A. So yeah, I was not kidding. Dabakato. Dabakato. Now he's Commander Aziz, and it's such a dead. It's so dead. Their act. It's like not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, do we really need two terribly slow, horrible big men on the roster in Omos and Dabakato? Which Omos also emerged from Raw Underground as well. It's like, oh yeah, they're tall, so they're gonna be good. Omos did one move and stunk. He has no aura. Like I'm sorry, like when there's so many other good big men, no one really cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. It's just they keep trying to find the next Andre, and they're never gonna.
Can't replicate people. You can only find.
They've never had anybody close. The closest they ever got was with the Big Show. But
he's the Big Show.
But for a long time in the Big Show's career, he just didn't get wrestling. Like, and all of a sudden, like it kind of snapped with him. Like 2006, 2007, he started getting good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that was after like almost 15 years of working. He finally got what it meant to be a big guy.
Well, because he was trying to emulate somebody else, not just be himself.
Yeah, he was trying to do too much. That was a problem. Anyway, at the end of this, the Mysterios dump Street Profits over the top rope because they said that's what they're going to do them at the Royal Rumble. And then Ray dumps Dominic over the top rope and smiles at him and does the John Cena "you can't see me" thing. Fun stuff. Good filler. I don't think any of the 8 men that wrestled in that match have any remote chance of winning the Royal Rumble. But, there's that. They had another Alexa Bliss segment. They won't drop the Lily thing yet, but
so can you explain this to me just a tad, briefly?
It's just her journey back to Raw. So she's visiting a psychiatrist and trying to treat her weird fetish for Lily. I guess, and because Lily's dead now, and he tried to tell her that she's imaginary tonight, and then he ran away. Last week she destroyed his office because he made her watch footage of Charlotte Flair tearing up Lily. So I hope it ends with Alexa Bliss like coming back with some kind of like mix, no more magic, but like a mix of the female fiend look with her old character.
Okay, so like that edgy look with the old.
Yeah, I hope we just get it. We just get like her regular character back because no more magic, please.
No more.
Awful.
Nobody needs it.
Main event is Bobby Lashley versus Seth Freakin Rollins. They were having a good match, and then all of a sudden, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander pulled Lashley out of the ring and caused a DQ. So Bobby Lashley wins by DQ, which was a terrible ending. Which is kind of what they should have done with Big E and Seth Rollins last week. Big E wasn't on the show at all tonight, but we talked about that match was in the middle of the show, and if they did the DQ last week, it wouldn't have been as bad because again it was in the middle of the show. But they instead gave the ending that they probably should have given to Big E versus Seth Freakin Rollins last week to this main event, and it just really just kind of spoiled the show for me a little bit. I cannot stand the lame ass DQ. We don't want to beat anybody, so just do a DQ. Bobby Lashley kills Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander after, and then the Usos come through the crowd and super kick Rollins. The end. Sour note to end Raw, but overall, it wasn't horrible, but not great. They're going against the NFL playoffs tonight. And yeah, last week they're going against the college football playoffs, but for whatever reason, they still put out a very good show. They had Brock Lesnar on the show last week, but going against the NFL playoffs, they didn't bring Lesnar out there this week because it's like we're not paying for Lesnar to come out
for
if
less
it's
viewership.
if the viewership's going to suck anyway.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Or they certainly want to advertise Brock Lesnar and then nobody tunes in anyway because that hurts Brock Lesnar's drawing power, that would hurt the illusion of it at least anyway. So this is what we got. This was their best idea. This is like where where if Jim Ross was in the company, they would have had Jim Ross come out and be humiliated in Oklahoma. Because that's what they would do to fill up time in Oklahoma. They would fill up time in Oklahoma with that. But there was some good stuff in the middle. The Damien Priest thing was certainly shocking. The Miz and Maurice segment with Edge and Beth Phoenix was really, really good. But other than that, there was some good action, but not enough to really make me say that this was a thumbs up show. I want to get everybody in the chat. Give us your reaction. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Victoria, I'll go to you first. I'm going to also pull up the Twitter.
I'm going to say a thumbs up just because it's my first show back in a while. And
okay.
Although there were some things that, like you said, dull or lackluster, there were those few segments that I enjoyed that I would like to be positive and be optimistic tonight and say, I'll give a thumbs up. It wasn't the worst show to come back on.
Okay. I agree. That's a good one. That's a good one. I agree with that. I have to give it a thumbs down because it's been so good that I expect more.
Yes,
now.
There you go.
So especially with the build of the Rumble and like Brett Farmer says, the playoff game was over before halftime, so they really have no excuses. But once you have the show set in stone, it's like they booked it as if that it was going to be a good playoff game. So it's hard to just start. Once you have a direction in mind at the beginning of the show, it's hard to change it. But Brett Farmer gives it a thumbs up for me not watching Raw. All right, there you go. Andrew says thumbs down. Raw mad. This show thumbs up for the return of Victoria. Also, Victoria can borrow my Fiend hurt heel gloves for Mike next time he acts up.
Thank you, Andrew. Send them over.
Machine gives it a thumbs up in a slight way. I give it 10,000 meh thumbs down. There you go. I really only enjoyed Miz and Maurice stuff. Shocker. Did you?
That is shocking because Andrew's been.
He's been going to take showers during those times.
He really hates. He hates those Miz segments.
He's been really kind of begging you to go crazy.
It wasn't going to happen because I kind of
put him in the Wrestleview graveyard. Scotty Poindexter's here tonight. Thumbs down. The hockey game between Andrew Elder and my teams were more entertaining. Post show with that a million thumbs up from Quentin Walters. I think that's a million. 54% give it a thumbs up. This one's closer this week. It's right down here. One of the comments says middle. It had good parts, but also bad. So I'm in the middle. Now you got to choose one or the other. It's got to be thumbs up or thumbs down. No more thumbs in the middle. But 54% giving it a thumbs up right now. So
Brett, always, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Brett. Yes, thanks to Mike and Victoria for watching Raw. We don't have to. We are grateful. Feel free to wash out your eyes now.
Thank you, Brian.
Thumbs down for me. There's nothing really going on. I was interested in Becky, Bianca, Miz, and Maurice. Not interested yet. Kind of a blah show. And welcome back, Victoria.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Well, everybody, we're going to wrap up the show for tonight. Next week is the go-home show to the Royal Rumble, so make sure to tune in to Post-Raw. We'll have all the coverage there for you. And then we're gearing up for the Rumble post show. Soon after that, we're gonna have a couple surprises on that show too. So you gotta make sure you tune in for. Yeah. We have a couple things planned.
Oh, all right. I don't know about these things.
Gotta make sure.
Myself.
Gotta make sure. Post Raw post show, the stewardship of Wrestleview. Thank you. Machine likes the glasses.
Oh, thanks, Machine. I've actually had these for a while, but I've
well, you had your other pair for like a million years, and then I stepped on them.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
In the middle of the pandemic, where it was very hard to get glasses.
I could not get glasses for a very long time.
I didn't mean to.
These are real, by the way. These look like the blue light ones that are very trendy right now, but these are very real. I do like this pair. I have another pair that I bought.
Makes you look smart. I like it. Not that you're not smart.
I am
didn't say that.
smart.
I didn't say that.
I'm smarter than you, okay?
Anyway, everybody, we're gonna get out of here before I get in any more trouble. So tune in next week, Wrestleview Post-Raw. We have, and on this Friday, we have Mr. Nemmer coming back with the SmackDown post show. So make sure you tune in for that as well. All right, everybody. I'm Mike Tedesco.
I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Have a good week.
Have a good one, everybody.